You ready?
Whenever.
All right, guys. Four walls in this pile of cold white bed sheets, empty wine bottles like memories we used to keep. Tears fall down like raindrops on a window. If you're not gonna be here, maybe I should go. Folding up that blanket we bought secondhand. After shaking out all.
Welcome to Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, home of the Grand Ol Opry, Hot Chicken and Tony Lucca.
High tides coming.
We took time to be tourists in the city, seeing the Ryman Theatre, the neon that is downtown with all the honky tonks, and ate at a couple of Tony's favorite places in the area.
I should get to leaving, get to carrying on just like you. Ain't no getting even.
Arriving at Tony's home, we began setting up for a day of cooking, eating, and storytelling. The unexpected twist for us was being serenaded by him as we prepped the meal.
Like a fool, I can't get these dreams out of my head. Morning comes out, wake up all alone. You're not the prayer, maybe I should go. You're not the prayer, maybe I should go. You're not gonna be there, maybe I should go. Some birds out here, don't it?
Paint a picture of the days gone by. Write a letter with true love in every last line. Tie a little thread between your dreams and mine. My love, my love, my love, my love ain't going nowhere.
People that go to shows a lot, see you a lot. What we cherish are the flaws in the show. Like, yeah, we know the song.
Exactly.
Like, ooh, did you hear what he did tonight? Like, it was a little different tonight.
Yeah, and it's funny because for a while I would kind of excuse the drunken Tony. To say, oh no, it's charming. It's charming. Yeah, within reason. So.
Right. There is a point. There's a tipping point there. It's like we went right up to it and then way over. Just stumbled all the way. Not charming.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? Yeah. You. Oh, you're gonna pour. So we're emulsifying oil into vinegar.
Okay. Come on.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, we have a really strong relationship with food.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from, our roots. You're born into it, it gets in your blood, and you just kind of keep going. what's your relationship with food, and how did you get there? From, your childhood, what affected you, what memories, smells, tastes bring you to where you are today?
When I was younger, I kind of ate whatever my dad ate. I just kind of wanted to model myself after him, and he was the most basic cheese and ketchup only on his Whopper kind of guy. Like he just didn't like any bells and whistles, nothing fancy, just straight up meat and potatoes. And that worked for me, and I thought that was kind of what I was going to be into. My mom was always a little more brave. She was in the restaurant business, so she was always trying like anything with blue cheese crumbles on it. She just loved, flavors and variety and things. And sadly and strangely, whatever, it wasn't until like I moved out and got on my own that I realized I totally loved different things, variety and spices and seasoning and lettuce.
Each meal of the day in the South has importance, and so we decided to have each course represent them in order: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as dessert. Well, because in the South, it's a meal unto itself. At the table for this meal were musicians, music evangelists, and a craft beer brand ambassador. Tony is our host, Steve Bentz, bass player and a member of the duo known as the Rollaways, Rick Strasser, host of the Burchwood Avenue Sessions, and Amanda Crisp of Jackalope Brewing.
We do our corned beef. We do it in 2 stages. We hot brine it, and then we finish it in the oven with a glaze that has brown sugar base. So that's where you're getting that offset of the maple and the brown sugar together.
All right, are we ready for a question?
Right.
Question number 11 is, your house is burning and you can run in and grab one item. What item would that be?
It's a really good question. Probably my phone charger.
Not a guitar! Seriously, not one of the guitars.
No, I don't have like that weird thing about guitars. I've come into some and I've had to let some go. I don't, they're out there. Good guitars are out there, but because obviously, yeah, I could grab any one of them and be cool. But I don't know why, but that cell phone charger thing, like that just got a state of emergency panic. Like you're gonna need that thing. At the very least, the phone's already on my person. That's a given. Yeah. The charger, grab the damn charger.
I have one cookbook that has to come with me.
That makes sense.
And it was given to me by my grandmother. It's an original copy of the Betty Crocker cookie cookbook. I mean, it's in the wire binding and all of that. And there is Ethel's sugar cookies in there. And ever since I was little, that is the Christmas cookie to me.
How many of those?
We're going to move on to our take on lunch. What we've done today is taken a piece of salmon, used a little bit of barbecue rub just on the top, and then you pan sear that side down so it gets all that caramelization. So this is a take on a BLT with salmon.
I'm the youngest of 7, and fish was only during Lent, and on Fridays and fish sticks or whatever. So yeah, I never ate fish. And then when I went to culinary school, I had to learn how to fillet a fish and how to cook it. And I was like, fish is delicious.
Yeah.
Why did I not know?
Yeah. True love ain't the hurting kind. True love ain't the hurting kind.
If you knew there would be a war, a nuclear war in 1 week, what would you do?
I would pack a sustainables and rations and things, and then make sure that all the kids have good shoes and a bag of layers, just plenty of water, and find a hole. I guess,
It's kind of like when we go on the road, He's my hero, but I am in charge.
Is that the way?
Kinda true.
Technically his sidekick.
So we're moving into dinner. Dinner is a take on a barbecue sandwich with a brisket on the bottom. There is a pork barbacoa, which is a little different.
We have from our dear friends in Canada, in the middle for a little texture because we always love texture in our food.
Intense pickled Doritos.
Dill pickle
Can't
extreme
get 'em in the US.
Doritos.
We had
Get them in the States?
We had them shipped in
We
from
had them shipped
Canada.
Yes.
With the main course, before we get to the question, one of the things that I think is very important is we're here at Tony Lucca's house. I'd like to spend a minute to talk about Tony Lucca. The first thing I will say is we've known Tony for quite a while, but we fell in love with Tony. It was Valentine's Day 2015, I think. It was the second show that we did together, so we decided to. Cheryl and I were the promoters of the show, and it was a Valentine's Day dinner. It was a 5-course meal. We were not the chefs, but it was a 5-course meal followed by a set with Tony, solo set, singing romantic songs and so on. And so Tony did a complete set, for the fans, and the meal was great. We had a good time. We went back to our house. And normally, Steve knows, we have a little get-together after every show in our house, and we normally cook. But this night, it was just the three of us. I mean, it was Tony solo, and we were just kind of hanging out, drinking, and Tony said, "Would you mind if I played every song off my new album for you right now?" And he proceeded to, he's like, "I'm really proud of these songs." And it was an EP, so I think it was like 5 songs or so.
Well, I'm thinking it was 2014.
Yeah, I think it was
2014.
Ready to make the record.
Gotcha.
I had a handful of the new album.
I remember Nashville.
Ready to Rock.
Yeah.
That was
Song.
Drawing Board, the EP. You're right.
The EP, that was the one you played.
Coming up. Yeah.
Because it's still one of my favorite songs, and you don't play it very often.
Bill and I think I would have given anything to have had a picture of the two of us in response to
Okay.
that. Because we looked at each other and
I want to
Bill and I are
play
pretty
for
much
the two of you.
Yeah, we're pretty much in sync. If he's thinking and I'm saying it and vice versa, and I just looked at him and it was like we'd ever say no.
He's just
Are
sitting
you
on a
kidding?
stool in our kitchen, and we're standing in the kitchen drinking.
I think it's one of our most treasured
Tony's
moments.
just
Since
singing
doing all
to
of
us.
this,
Oh, wow.
and
Thank
you. It was
it
pretty
just
cool.
was really sweet. We never left the kitchen.
Yeah,
I remember we
that's
never left the kitchen. It was
That was
just
a really cool night.
kind of like
That was wonderful.
super special.
You have been extremely prolific. I'd never looked you up on Wikipedia, but you've got a lot of albums, and then below it it's like, oh, he's got just as many EPs.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe you could just talk to us a little bit about, you just pump out content,
Thanks, man. Yeah, I remember when I was first starting out with my cousin Cole Garlack up in Michigan, and someone had given him some advice about getting into the record business or something, and it was an older gentleman who had lots of experience, and we were fresh and new, and we had these songs that we kind of thought were pretty exciting, and we were making an album and be big stars or something, and the guy was like, no, the thing is you got to make a lot of records. Well, wait a minute, but what about this one? These songs, have you heard these? And he's like, you got to make a lot of records. And at the end of the day, big or famous or not so famous, you got to make a lot of records. And with that, you'll learn what story you're really going to tell, what your narrative's going to be, what your sound's going to be, what mistakes you're going to make, what successes you're going to have. And it was really disheartening when you're at the starting block to hear that, you got this 100-meter dash, then you got 15 more years of 100-meter dashes. And it's like, oh, but this one, So I don't know. I got into the rhythm of, I think you should be able to have an album's worth of songs a year, just as a writer. I think you should be able to do that. At least that's the bar I set for myself. Discipline sets in over the years, and you realize the paces you have to take to get to where you are creating that pace, that rhythm, where you feel like you're giving the fans enough of new stuff and you're giving yourself enough new stuff. You're not sacrificing the old stuff because obviously that's what people still want to hear, I recently did a concert window the other day where I promoted all new and unreleased songs plus Pretty Things, which is one of my more known songs from all my fans, and a lot of my fans have come to my music through this song. So of course I said, oh, don't worry, I'll play
And a new version of Pretty Things.
And a new version of Pretty Things. You know, like you gotta be awesome.
Extra pretty thing.
Really pretty band.
Gorgeous things to say. Pretty things.
Let's talk beer for a minute. Jackalope Brewing is based in Nashville and was started by two friends and a passion for homebrew. Fast forward to this dinner where we collaborated menüed brews and bringing out the best in both the food and the beer throughout each course. So for the coulis, you caught us getting the fruit done in the pan with sugar, lemon juice, and a little bit of water. And we've broken down all of the berry meat, and now we're gonna push out all of the good juice, leaving behind all the seeds so that the seeds are not in the coulis.
So I have a story about this dish. When you're in like elementary school, do you remember you would get the Scholastic books? It's like a little thing you would open up, and these are books you can buy really cheap for you.
Book fair or whatever.
Yeah, not for school, just for pleasure
Sure.
that you would take home or whatever.
Oh.
And it recently dawned on me that the first book I ever bought out of the Scholastic catalog was a cookbook.
Wow.
It was the Peanuts cookbook. And there was a recipe in it called Lucy's Lemon Squares. And I used to just make it all the time. Just like, come home from school and I'll make Lucy's Lemon Squares. These things are awesome.
That's crazy.
So these are Lucy's Lemon Squares.
All right, so let's get the lovebird pouring. So lovebird comes from, you know, the legend of lovebird. Love is best experienced in pairs, and so is drinking beer. This is a strawberry raspberry Hefeweizen. We use over 200 pounds of raspberries and strawberries. The raspberries will complement the coulis, and the strawberries will just really interact well with all the citrus flavors and components, and rosemary and strawberries also go really well together.
Great, thank you.
Here's the dessert.
Okay.
Wow.
When I took the bite, the raspberry overtook the lemon until I kept chewing. I was like, oh.
It all evens out.
The lemon just came like,
I'm not letting you take my show.
no. Just like Lucy.
Yeah. Well, I like this because it's not a true custard. You know, it's not dairy based.
Right.
Not like a ice cream custard.
Goes so well together, this with the beer.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Sweet.
Oh,
This is
it's
hot.
Out of my mind. That was so happy.
That was amazing.
Incredible. Oh.
All right, everybody. We got our last act of the night, and if you haven't figured it out yet, they're actually doing some filming for a new series that our friends Bill and Cheryl Bentz are putting together, who are also co-hosts of this awesome festival we're doing called Off the Record. Tony and I and Brent will all be there, and it's going to be a good time. And without further ado, give it up for my good friend and yours, Mr. Tony Lucca, everybody.
That rain been flying tonight through the cold wind blowing in your lover's eyes, and then the sun goes down before the morning light. She got gold in her pocket, a knife in her hand, run through the desert with a killing man. Daddy still driving Delilah home. She can roll your name, so you can hear the walls. She's a ghost in the mirror, and we love to see her in the roses, in the wine. And the lights go out, and the lights go out, and the lights go out.
In our lives, music is always present, whether played on the front porch, choosing playlists, sharing new songs and artists, or in discussions about its influence and where the business is headed. Over our Nashville weekend, we were exposed to the natural hospitality that occurs when musicians and friends get together, share a meal, and good conversation. Tony Lucca is certainly well suited to live in a place called Music City. Whether from his front porch or on a stage, Tony's presence is a bright light that draws you in like a moth to a flame.
Thank you so much. All right, good. Thank you so much for that. That's another newbie. Back in '87, Main Street 7-Eleven, Kenny called you out for kissing Christine. When I saw that sucker punch coming, well, I knocked that sucker out. You said I owed you one. You'd have done the same thing, kind of thing you never think about. It means everything. I might drag you kicking, screaming through the crazy ups and downs. I might be the voice of reason when it can't be found. I might take the scenic route, a few more miles to sweat it out. Yeah, it's me you can't believe, and I won't let you down. 2010 came the rising of the Cumberland. Your home sweet home and all you know washed away. Said, yeah, I got you covered. You and the wife came stay with me. You said that's the kind of favor you never get to repay. I said it's my word that I gave you. Wouldn't have it any other way. I might drag you kicking and screaming through the crazy ups and downs. I might be the voice of reason when it can't be found. I might take the scenic route, a few more miles to sweat it out. Still it's me you can't believe in, and I won't let you down. Said I owe you one, but you've done the same thing. The kind of thing you never think about, it means everything. I might drag you kick and scream through the crazy ups and downs. I might be the voice of reason when it can't be found. I might take the scenic route, a few more miles to sweat it out. Still it's me you can't believe it, I
won't let you down. I said it's me you can't believe in, and I won't let you down. You might give me every last reason, still I won't let you down. Thank you, Roland. Thank you guys so very much.